Hello and welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. So, some interesting stuff has happened since last time. I recorded about 5 hours past this point, went to check all my recordings, and they all weren't working. This is unfortunate. By past this point, I mean past the point of the previous end of the previous episode. So I went back, went to revert the save to the end of the previous episode, found that was the one episode I didn't revert it to, reversed it to the previous one, played all the way through, and now we're back to where we should have been at the end of last episode. So what this means is I know roughly what's going to happen going forward, but there are some cool things about this. It means that I know mostly where there isn't anything. Like, you know, in this game there's a lot of nothing. Like, there's a lot of encounters where I'd be like, okay, this is interesting. I want to go and explore the rest of this dungeon. Even though I found a route through it, maybe the rest of the dungeon has something in it. And then we'd go around the dungeon, nothing in it. This is a very, literal example, because I did this in one of the episodes that I've lost. So what I'm going to do is, given that doing dungeons doesn't give you XP in this game, as in actually killing people doesn't give you XP, I think the best way to do it is we'll just play through it, and then when I get a chance off camera, I'll sneak back to those sections and just clear it out for whatever money and loot it had. Talking of loot, I also went and sold all of our stuff, so we had 27,000 copper, plus a little bit that I didn't sell from the Dragon Cave. Anyway, so that's where we are, and we have everyone to level up. I don't remember if we leveled anyone up last time, but it's also cool because I did, spoiler, meet a new companion, and I may know a better way to perhaps build them than how I went for originally, because now I have a rough idea of what they do. Anyway, let's level up. So, Eora, very simple stuff. Talking of where we want to go with them, survival seems like a very good one. We're going to go to survival 4, so that'll be survival level 10. And basically that will give him accuracy bonus, and that's where we're going to stop. I don't think anything else is useful for him, so I think that's probably the best way to go. And then athletics after that point. Right. Class unlocks. Did it take Weary Defender? Like, this one just gives them 5 defenses, which is just so useful. Like, we should just take that one. There we go. Right. Now we got Pelagina. Or Pelagina. For her, I almost want to put her survival up to 4 so she can get accuracy bonus versus creature type, which I think is a little bit more useful than lore. Just 4 right now. Because say we go into a dragon cave, we can just put everything into beasts, and then she gets, like, an extra 10 accuracy, which is just super good. So there we go. Greater Lay on Hands. Yeah, it's alright, but you don't really use Lay on Hands that much. Again, I think we're going to go with the defenses. I think I went through this last time, but I can't remember. But it's fine. Wizard. Easy enough. Oh, I also, that's 27,000 copper, and I bought every single wizard spell from all of the spell books that we had. So, Alof's pretty, like, he's pretty set. Now, there is an argument to say, let's stop putting stuff into lore. We haven't found any lore that's above level 9. Let's put it in survival. Just to 4th level. That way he gets accuracy bonus versus creature type. Really, really good. And it's something that he can actually use, and it also works with his spells. Seems like a good thing. Oh, also, I think we talked about this last time, but I gave him the weapon that can bind and upgrade and stuff, so it's really cool. Right. In terms of spells, I think I'm going to take Tentacles, I think was the one I'm going to go for. Because basically this one gives them something else to, it gives them a very solid thing to fight with, which I think is very useful. And here, Arcane Veil is alright, but not very useful. I think we went for Fast Runner, which is alright. It's not fantastic. I think there are other things that could be great, like Deep Pockets actually could be really good for him because it gives him extra lore slots, and you can craft scrolls, which I didn't realize, so that would actually be really useful. But Fast Runner for just now. We'll stick with what I went with, but you may not have seen what I went with. I can't remember exactly when the recordings messed up. Anyway, I got it, so we're at the right point. Anyway, so Stealth for this guy seems really good. And then we're going to go for Now, I think we're going to go into more of a melee focus build at some point, like very, very soon. So let's go for... I don't know, I still think Vicious Fighting just modifies another, so that'd be 20% of hits convert to crits. That's just really good. Let's go with that. And then we're gonna go for Sagini. Give her, well, we already got survival to 10, so she already has 2nd level accuracy bonus. We're unlikely to get survival to, what would it be, 12? Wait, 12's not right. Right. 10, it goes 6. Oh, it doesn't, no, okay. I was thinking you go to 4, then you went to 4, then you went to 4, so it's like, no, it would be 12 plus, so 16. So, I think it's unlikely we get it to 16, but it'd be really good if we could. You know, let's actually just leave it. Let's try and get to 16, because accuracy bonus is so good, and if not, we can have bonus movement if we need it. And she doesn't really use anything else. We don't use her as a stealth character, so I don't see why we would need stealth. Here, accurate wounding shot could be good, because it gives her just extra damage, like, gives it more chance of critting. Vicious Companion could also be good, make her companion useful. Like, an actual useful companion could be something, like, great. Merciless Companion. Okay, animal companions do small amounts of sneak attack damage against targets that qualify. Wait a second, what? That's not what that says, though. This one just says it gives 30% damage to self. Weird. This one, Vicious Companion as well, though this one seems to be very good. Yeah. I think that's something useful for her to take. Make her animal companion, like, actually do something. And then Durance, lore, again, we haven't got anything past 9, so I'm going to take 1 in survival to give him the accuracy bonus, even though it's not necessarily that useful. I think it is used for spells? I could be wrong. But yeah, I think it's used for spell hits as well. So, that seems like a useful thing if we know what we're coming up against. Talents. I think we take... Interdiction could be useful. It's just like an AoE daze. It's kind of useful. Inspiring Radiance gives him accuracy, which is... Or gives AoE accuracy to priest allies. That could be useful. We use a lot of accuracy buffs, so that works. Right. Very quick level up, just so we don't have to spend all day on that, because we kind of know... I think I went through it a little bit last time. And now we have to speak to the person we have to hand the quest into. Furga.
Greetings.
May you be guided and tempered by the flame. I journeyed to Searing Falls myself. Here's what I found there. By the flame, do you know what this is? I hope we went through that conversation at the end of last episode, but if we didn't, it's a fragment of the Godhammer Bomb. Yes, the very weapon that Magrin herself helped build to defeat Waidwin in the Saints' War. She turns the stone in her hand, gazing into its bright glow. It's weird seeing it right in front of you like that. Before it was just stories, never seemed real. Yet, so why don't I feel any differently? What good does this do? Magrin is the goddess of trials, and yet you sent me to pursue the vision she gave you. You proved yourself faithless. Was it a test, or evidence of what Magrin already knew? I think I suspected, but I kept hoping for a different answer. Everyone's trial comes, there's no avoiding it. To avoid it is to fail. Her weakness shows plain as the relic's glow. She may not have worn the robes of robes of Magrin, but she never followed her. Lost in the darkness, this one. Do not forget what it looks like. This is the true burden of faith. Not a goddess's challenge, but her absence, her silence, or the answer that reveals your own hollow conviction. It'll take weeks to appoint a suitable successor. In the meantime, I'll serve the people the best I can. Wait here a moment. I'm no longer fit to wield this, but perhaps it can serve you. Besides, I do owe you some thanks for the service you performed. Thank you. Farewell. Okay, so she gave us an item called Unforgiven. What is it? Ooh, it's a kind of flail. Ooh, okay. Grazes convert to hit, so it's very, very similar to what Edier uses. Right. It does give 4 accuracy, which... Oh no, his gives 4 accuracy. This one doesn't give accuracy. It gives burn damage, attack speed, which is nice. Grazes are converted to hits, but it doesn't give the damage's endurance, which is why that's not so good. And that could be useful on maybe someone like Sagini. I did give her the club that we had. Basically on the logic that the club had accuracy 1, which means that even though she's not trained in clubs, this kind of makes up for the accuracy loss. This one doesn't have any extra accuracies, so that's probably not that good, and she already has one. I gave us the sword that we found in Yenwood, because I thought that would be useful, again, because it gives you a little bit of accuracy. It also gives you constitution, so it keeps us alive a little bit more, and the will's not really that important for us. But I don't think we have any use for Unforgiven. I think Unforgiven is going into our stash. There we go, we'll just dump that in there. See, we still have a couple of dragon weapons that we need to sell, and that'll probably get us a couple thousand gold if we need it, but we're not in that kind of situation. Let's head out. I am aiming to go at a slightly faster pace just for the next couple of episodes so that we can catch up to where we were, just because I've gone through it before. But it doesn't mean we're going to skip everything. We do have missing sentries, which is something I actually missed when we were doing in the 5 hours that I missed. So we're going to go hand that in. It's just across the road at Crucible Keep, so very easy quest to hand in. It's just, well, basically it's just, hey, we're going to, with sentries, we want to, we found the sentries, we did the quest, and can you give us a reward? That's about it. Okay, in we go. Okay, so she's just at the training pit. Hello. Right, hello. Your guards were charmed by the spirit of a woman named Lyra. I've gotten rid of her. By the flame, you found her, my missing commander? She was calling the watch from beyond the grave. It doesn't make sense, but nothing in that accursed district does. What happened to the soldiers under the spell? Oh, we killed them, but they didn't make it. I see. Nevertheless, thank you for your help. You've left me with as many questions as answers. But at least I know what happened to my troops and Commander Lyra. Please accept this as a token of my gratitude. Okay, we've got 1,000 copper. Farewell. I think she gave us a weapon as well, or maybe not. I think she might have just given us 1,000 copper. Maybe it's a randomized reward. Anyway, we got that. I do want to check out the blacksmith here, actually. I want to see whether he has any other kind of stuff for us, because I never checked that out, and we have money now, so... does this guy speak? No. Okay, Dunstan. Sale. It sells the White Spire, which is a very nice two-handed sword, with a Spellbind Blizzard, 3 per rest, a disorientating on hit. I think I'm going to buy that for Pallegina, just because she needs a really good weapon. So we'll put that down here. Now that is an S-Stock. Is an S-Stock something that she... I don't think she's trained in anything. Yeah. Pallegina. Pallegina is trained in... two-handed style. That's it. Okay. In which case, we can totally buy that for her. I wish to buy her the White Spire, just because, again, it's fantastic. Anything else he sells that's really good? Nope. Okay, and in return for that trade, I'm going to sell him all of this. In fact, I'll probably... You know what? We'll keep the weapon. That's fine. Oh, did that go to my inventory, or did that... I hope that's sold properly. Yeah, this isn't really taking much off the price, but it's made me feel better. Okay, so the gold weapon's gone now, but that's fine. I assume it just went to our inventory. Yes it did. Okay, so we can put that back in our stash. Cool. We're now going to take Pallegina's sword, we're going to make it the S-Stock, and we'll put the sword in our inventory to sell later. But now, she should be a little bit more useful, because she can now daze, and it goes through armor, so that's a really, really good sword for her. Well, S-Stock. Anyway, that's that quick task done. Leave here. Right, now I'm going to change the order of things from the way that I may have been describing doing things last time, because I know more where it's going to send me for certain quests. I think the best answer for now is we're going to go into this area, which is the start of our quest here. Our Harrowing of the Dyrwood quest, Hollowing of the Dyrwood quest. Because I happen to know that we cannot get to Twin Elms right now. Or at least I couldn't find a way to Twin Elms from all of the kind of traveling I did. So I think that a better way of doing it is to go do this quest, and then that will allow us to get to a point where future we can do, we can get to Twin Elms and then do that quest a little bit more seamlessly. Anyway, let's head in.
Praise to the exiled queen. May her crown be restored and her justice prevail. Come to pay your respects to the queen that was.
Who are you?
Lord Ardwellen Rugfold III, and pleased to make your acquaintance. I came to the Dyrwood on one of the first ships from Adia, and unlike the yokels and hut dwellers around here, I still keep to the old ways.
It's truly a pity to see what the locals have done to Wodika's house of worship. I was told I'd find the Temple of Wodika here.
And so you did. These savage colonists may have burned it down, but worship of the Oathbinder is alive and well. These stairs lead to the main sanctum.
What stairs?
These stairs, of course. The sanctum was always below ground, adjacent to the catacombs, so it wasn't destroyed by the fires.
Tell me where I'd find the entrance to these catacombs.
There are various entrances throughout Defiance Bay, but I dare say the easiest to reach is in Copper Lane. I haven't been to that part of town in ages, but as I recall, it's somewhere near the southern gate.
What are you doing?
Worshipping Wodika, the exiled queen and Oathbinder. I come every day to offer my devotion. I'd love nothing more than to book passage back to Adia, but it is my Emperor's wish that I serve in these barbaric lands. And so I do.
I'd like to know more about Wodika.
A queen among the gods. She oversees laws and oaths. Everything has a rightful place, and Wodika watches over them all.
Wodika. Okay, got it.
Of course, not everyone accepts this. Even among the other gods, her authority is questioned. But Wodika is also goddess of memory and vengeance, and she remembers. She'll remember every slight and trespass when she reclaims her throne.
You know you're a ghost, right?
I beg your pardon? Is this some sort of joke where you come from?
I'm serious, look at yourself.
A madhouse. That's what this town really needs.
Well, actually it has one, but okay, goodbye.
Hey.
Okay, so we go in here, and oh, shock, horror! Stairs are broken. So we have to go to the catacombs, to that entrance that we found earlier, which explains why that entrance exists. I just realized that we can head this way and leave much quicker. Cool. So we need to go to the Temple of Wodika. Right, we've arrived at the temple entrance that we found earlier, and we're about to head down. Right, so the first thing we need to do down here is we need to change our outfit. We actually need to put on that helmet. So this is the Wodika hood that we found earlier. A dark mask bearing the stylized countenance of Wodika, attached a thread to a black hood. Worn together, they obscure most of the defining features of the wearer's head. Now, this isn't so important, but it's more important for something that's a little bit along there. Ooh, I forgot this. Oops. In front of you looms the ghostly hollow image of a man who was present at your awakening. He casts a pale, sickly light in the dank corridor as he regards you. Now, what I find very interesting about this man is that he is the only person, I believe, in the game who was not a companion who has a portrait, which is very interesting. Because the two companions at the start of the game had portraits. This is, I think, the first one. Maybe there was one other. Was there one right at the end of that sequence that had a portrait? I can't quite remember. But anyway, he's one of very few who have a portrait. So this means he's probably super important.
You are from Kratom, my boy.
His words are an echo in your mind from a time long past, and you know your response before you speak it as if it's always been. So, I went for one option last time. I'm going to go for something different. Only recently.
A remarkable city. Truly one of the most impressive we have encountered outside of our own. Many exceptional people who have joined our cause come from Kratom. What made you decide to join our order?
I'm honestly not sure.
As long as you are assured in your faith, the rest is not so important. Are you ready to take the oath? To spread the word of the gods to the lost and heathen?
I am.
Hey,
Weird.
nothing will slip past
I was
me.
hoping to get some more context for that, like, whole thing. But, I didn't. Which is kind of a bit weird.
Yeah?
Remember right? We need to send ourselves forward first, because we're, like, Mr. Perception. There we go.
I've got
Open
something
that
over
up.
here.
Get rid of the trap. Perfect. A little bit of XP. We'll get some more XP from this one. Right. And then we can pick up some loot. Decreased critical hits. Okay. And then some general crafting loot.
Hey,
Let's pick up let's see what this one does. So, just take less critical hit damage. That seems great for Edier. Like, if Edier ever gets critical hit, he just won't. He'll just shrug it off. Seems great. Okay. Right. Let's go to this Temple of Boudica.
greetings.
The mercenary looks at his feet. Please go on in. His eyes dart up to the rest of your party. You know the Acolyte doesn't like guests. I'd keep any friends of yours out of the main chamber. She's already in a state on account of someone being late. No sense in provoking her further. Very interesting. The first time I did it, I didn't wear the mask, and he said, he like challenged me. He was like, are you meant to be here? Are you allowed to be here? This time he's like, alright, I see you have the mask. You're allowed in. Okay, cool. The first time you were able to kind of talk your way in, but I like this too. What's going on here? I haven't a clue, I assure you. We keep to ourselves and watch for uninvited guests like your Acolyte told us. No questions asked. Need someone else? Tell me about this place. As far as I can tell, we're underneath first fires. Probably under that ruined temple. Okay, farewell.
Hey,
Yeah, let's head in. There are a whole bunch of like mercenaries around here. We're assuming if you fail the conversation outside, you can fight. You have to end up fighting these all. Well, that's fine. Grab all that loot. And we meet a novice. Now there are some books here, but I think we've already read them. Yeah. In fact, I'm almost certain we've read this one. Yeah, so we'll grab it. It's also a different book from the previous time I was in here. Which is interesting, which means the books are randomized in this area, which is weird. Yeah, okay. Well, that one wasn't randomized. Okay. Let's talk to the initiate.
Hale, traveler.
A lone figure paces back and forth, tapping his fingers at his side, muttering to himself. He jumps when he sees you, hands out his chest. By the flame, you startled me. Shouldn't be in the meeting, attendant. The Acolyte's waiting for you. He claps his hands, his thumbs twitching. It's not time for the initiate's meeting, is it? He twiddles his fingertips. I'll be ready. Soon. Tell me about the meeting. This must be your first time. The Acolyte communicates with each of us individually to hear our progress on old tasks and assign us new ones. It's a unique process. She's a cipher so you can speak to you without words. Fascinating. Until you realize she can probably read your thoughts just as easily. What do you know about these tasks? Only what I absolutely need to. We protect secrets of the gods, so discretion is essential. We received instructions from the Acolyte, just as she receives hers from someone else, and so on, right up to the Grand Master. Our role is to obey, knowing as little about the overall plan and each other as possible. Tell me about these secrets. Oh, you shouldn't even be asking. Whatever they are, they're secrets for a reason. Our job is to guide them, not to know them. How can you be confident you're doing the right thing when you know so little? That's easy. The Leaden key has been around for ages by the blessing of the gods. You only have to look around to see the perils of trying to usurp divine power. Killing a god in Saints' Wars cursed us all, and this heresy of animancy has only worsened matters. Try to replace a soul and you inevitably end up with a monster. It's all been a warning. There are just some powers we shouldn't have. I see. What are you doing here? I've been practicing the past phases. I know them backwards and forwards, but I get so nervous every time I think about repeating them to the Acolyte. You could practice on me. Okay, here goes. First question. State your name and purpose. Answer, my name belongs to the gods and my hand to their service. Second question, what company do you seek? Answer, I seek the company of shadows, that our labours may remain secret. Third question, tell me of your labours. Answer, to see the craft of Kith, and the wielder does not disturb what bones the gods have buried. Fourth question, how do we know your purpose? Answer, you shall know it by the confession of my tongue, the deeds of my hand, and the oath of my soul. Fifth question, and how is your oath guarded? Answer, it is sealed by the Leaden key. That wasn't so hard. Sounds like you got it. I do, I think. I'm just going to practice a few more times by myself before my meeting. Okay, goodbye.
Hey.
So, in case you hadn't worked it out, that guy gave us some information that we can use. I kind of stumbled upon it the first time, but we got it the second time. I think there might be traps here. I could be wrong. No.
I wonder what
no
this
traps
is.
in this room. Oh, what's this? Did I get this last time? I don't think I did. Grab it. Oh, it's a vine rod and a scroll of protection, which I suppose we'll keep. There we go. Then we get this. Primal rock. Yeah, just something for crafting. Okay. Then in here we go. Allah falters and brings a hand to his forehead. He takes a staggering step forward, coughing and spluttering.
Back, ye clod! Those hooded fiends are nigh to be trusted!
Allah, hey. Oh, that's not the best time for that. He grimaces, catching his breath. It's nothing, I'm fine. He coughs again. This probably isn't the best place to linger, anyhow. Okay.
Hey.
So, Alof's second spirit doesn't like these guys for some reason or another. And the only think the spirit might be a thing from his past life, there's probably a good reason for it. Anyway, let's head on in. You hear murmurs and chants on the other side of the door. A ritual of some sort is already underway. Now, this is very different than last time. Okay, what's weird about this... Okay, I'm going to tell you what I did last time. I came in without the hood on. I walked into the chamber. There was no problems. I had to talk to somebody to make a conversation happen. And then I got attacked because I didn't have a hood on. So I reloaded, put the hood on, and then I went in and I talked to them. However, I was never in this corridor with the hood on, so I never hit this trigger. So this is kind of interesting. I'm going to go into the chamber alone. You open the door and stride into the chamber. Several shrouded figures are lined up across from a hooded woman. The figure at the head of the line approaches her. The woman places her outstretched hand on the stranger's forehead. They stand in silent communion while you look on. A few moments later, the stranger steps aside and resumes his place in a circle around the statue. The woman turns to you. You were late, attendant. Even though her face is concealed, you sense rage in her dangerously low voice and in the sudden silence of the others in the chamber.
I've been waiting on your reports. Quickly now, state your name and purpose.
My name belongs to the gods and my hand to their service.
What company do you seek?
I seek the company of shadows, that our labours may remain secret.
Tell me of your labours.
To see the craft of Kith, and wilder does not disturb what bones the gods have buried.
How do we know your purpose?
You shall know it by the confession of my tongue, by the deeds of my hands, and the oath of my soul.
And how is your oath guarded?
It is sealed by the Leaden key.
Welcome, attendant. Tell me of your exploits.
In your mind you see a building, magnificent with trellises and tiles, located on a pristine boulevard. The lengthy and learned stroll in and out, trading knowledge and coin.
Does he wait still?
Yet it also houses misery and madness. Somewhere within its rotting core sits a man, his hair matted but his eyes alert. He watches and waits, a prisoner by choice. Now, here's a thing. I think I know where this is. It's a little bit of a riddle. I think that this is the sanatorium, or where all the animancers are, because it's a place of misery and madness. It's a place of where mad people go, so that kind of makes sense. And it's a place where knowledge is traded for coin, as in you pay the animancers for their knowledge. That makes the most sense to me. Unlike, say, the library where you'd go in and you just get knowledge. This is more of a different kind of thing. Does he wait still? I think yes, because we didn't do anything about it because we're not the attendant. And in case you're wondering where we got the mask from a dead attendant in the sewers, in the catacombs that we were at. So I assume he still waits, so we'll go yes.
Did they arrive?
The Acolyte's vision takes you out of Defiance Bay into a town, into the wilderness with a watermill. A signpost on one of the paths reads Dyrwood. Several figures huddle together, shrouded in cloaks and hoods. An image of the ruins suddenly looms in your mind. Two skeletal effigies flank a cleft in the mountainside. Did they arrive? I think the answer is yes as well, based on something that I'm not going to mention because we haven't met it yet.
Your information shall be relayed. Now, for your next task.
The ruins fade from your mind, and in their place is a palimpsest of a neighbourhood. Rundown estates are cobbled around a cemetery and an ancient tower. I think you can work out where this one is, based on where we went previously. Savage shapes prowl the streets, and in a tower, a man hunches over a strange mechanism. You can't see him clearly, but there's something unnatural about him.
Stop him. And above all, don't let him meet her.
Okay, you see a woman with a deathly pale with a scar over her heart. I actually didn't put this together at first. Do you think that her is Acantha, the person we couldn't kill? Do you think we couldn't kill her because we never activated we never had this quest? Possible. The Acolyte shows you a door in the base of a tower, a seemingly impenetrable slab of stone and copper. Then she shows you the invisible split between the perfectly matched halves. You understand how the copper veins convert a command into action. The command comes to your mind, a surprising familiarity about it. You know how to open the door. I shall. Have you any questions, attendant? What is this place? This is what remains of the Temple of Wodaka. The fires of revolution destroyed everything above us and left the remains abandoned, perfect for our purposes. Who are you? I am the Acolyte, and that is all you need to know. Right, farewell. These ones just get her to show us the vision again. Okay.
Hey.
Now we're going to completely ruin our stealth by walking straight through here. Right, we get this little bracelet, which is only usable by rangers, gives defense against charmed, confused, dominated, and gives concentration. It's not very good, but we'll take it. Okay. Now we can open up the secret passageway, and up we go. The steward of Caed Nua has received a letter for you. This is the DLC. This is very much the DLC. I'm not sure when we're going to do the DLC. I hadn't really thought about it. I suspect we're going to do the DLC after we've been to Twin Elms. That's my point for it. There's no real set point, but I think it makes sense because Twin Elms looks like a big spot. This is the quest that Kana was on. He was kind of on a... I don't know if we got this last time. I assume we did. But this was the quest that he was on to do something, and it gets us experience and an item. Item's not very good, but it is boots, and not everyone has boots in our party, so it's alright. Anyway, we'll get those from time to time. We got a few more of them. We actually got some money there. Fantastic. But yeah, we get a few more of these random events as time goes on, basically.
Hey.
Nothing amazing.
A moment,
cool.
please. I feel I should explain myself.
Okay. Aloth, well, explain yourself then. I kind of wanted to get him to face the camera. Can we get him to
How
do
may
that?
I help?
There we go. That's close enough.
Ready when you are.
I wish to
Aye?
speak to Aloth.
About my episode in the catacombs. There's something I should have told you earlier.
So tell me now. He clasps his hands together, slowly massaging a knuckle with his thumb. I meant no harm. I thought I could keep it to myself. That when we resolve the matter of your soul, we would also address my problem.
I also have an awakened soul. But unlike yours, mine is a presence that shares my senses and my skin, making herself manifest at the most unwelcome times.
He closes his eyes and grits his teeth. His lips quiver and twitch with the vestiges of some internal debate. Several seconds later, he opens his eyes. They're watery and bloodshot.
I'm sorry. I've tried to learn to control Isilmir. I've gotten stronger, but so has she.
Tell me about Isomir.
Artless, uncouth, a creature of rash impulses and feeble faculties. She wags her impertinent tongue when she should listen. Aye, this one's fit to boil. Hard to get this gaff over anything tisn't to do with books and spell speak.
I have none of her memories. Baraf spared me that much. But her coarse manners and intolerable Hale speak suggest a provincial from very, very, very long time ago. She tends to surf as a hair's breadth from conflict, when the fuse is burned down and teeth are on edge. When she slows up, she doesn't stop to gauge a situation. She just acts. She seems reckless. That's it, exactly. You recall the way she goaded those villagers in Gilded Vale. She doesn't think, she doesn't back down, and trying to suppress that has been my problem for years. Why don't you say something sooner?
I learned to keep her a secret a very long time ago. Those with awakened souls are shunned, mistrusted. And after your experience with Meowald, I'm certain you can see why. You need to be careful.
Is this going to be a problem?
Merely an annoyance. Although...
His voice lowers and he claps his hands behind his back. Minute twitches and spasms along his arms betray his fidgeting.
Defiance Bay is said to have an entire institution dedicated to the study and cure of soul-related ailments. Since our journeys have already brought us to the city, perhaps we could speak with someone there.
If it's helpful to you, we'll go.
Thank you. This has been a great burden.
Okay, let's get moving.
Hey.
Yeah, his voice is really good. I can't match it at all, though. Right. Let's see what we can do. We haven't really decided what we're going to do. We could go and do a Lofts quest right now. I don't think it moves anything on in a way that is unexpected. So, yeah, let's go do a Lofts quest. We're going to go to Brackenbury.
Of course.
Right. Let's speak to the statue.
Hale and well met.
Ah, Watcher, what brings you here? You may have a member of Len Key in your midst. I could have done without hearing that today. Many have their intrusions been into our affairs. Of course, one can seldom be certain whether they meddled or whether calamity has struck on its own. But a few less of their less skilled infiltrators being exposed from time to time, they're a perpetual nuisance. Once again, I am reminded of how envious I am of your gifts. I suspect they would be of some use in verifying one's identity. You're at odds with Len Key as well, I take it. They were up to something and I want to know what it is. They are always up to something. Of course, you may rest assured. If their plots have come to involve you, then you have my sympathies. Do you have any idea of who this person might be? Well, I won't really know till I've met them. Very well. In that case, I would recommend you first speak with our resident animancers. They have frequent interactions with both patients and colleagues, and you'll find them up here in the offices downstairs. You will report anything suspicious to me immediately. That is my only request. Does anyone know anything about awakenings here? There's an animancer on the lower floor who came all the way from Reviewer to study them. Take the stairs down and look for Belisage. Okay, farewell.
Hey.
Downstairs it is then. Right. And down here, I'm going to talk to our old friend because we need to let him know some stuff.
Welcome.
Helig is dead for good. Then I can rest easy. You've done a great service for Animancy, for the sanitarium, and for me. Thank you.
Welcome.
And we want to ask about an expert on awakenings, I think, first. She doesn't say anything, but then we go, has anything unusual been happening around here? You must be joking. This is a sanitarium. Nothing is usual down here. Although, now that I think of it, the patients seem more agitated lately. But they're Saidman Azo's responsibility, not mine. Okay, I'll be on my way.
Hey.
We have somebody to speak to. I don't know if he's the right person to speak to, but we have somebody to speak to. Well, that's his trunk as well. Okay. Leave it alone. We never really worked out what to do with that trunk. Like, we never worked out whether it was a thing that he'd be mad at us for looking at.
Alright,
we stealth? I'm interested. Like, this is my curiosity.
Just say the word.
Into effect.
Not a problem.
Okay. Sneaky, 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 sneaky. Sneaky, 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 sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky. Okay, examine the trunk more closely. The lack of dust on the trunk's surface and the long scratches on the tile flooring suggest the trunk is frequently used and moved throughout the laboratory despite its considerable size. Yet narrow gouges score the wood at the edges of the trunk. They look like claw marks. Unlock the trunk. You take the key acquired from Hale and place it in the lock. It fits perfectly and turns with a solid clunk. The trunk holds no grimoires or treasure. Instead, you find yourself staring at the feral gaze and toothy maw of a twisted, monstrous creature. Its humanoid form has been overwhelmed by bony angles and terrible claws. At the start, you recognize the vague shape of a young girl beneath the elongated, malformed bones and greyish skin. It growls and leaps from the trunk, not towards you, but towards Morid. Morid has no time to scream before his throat is torn out. I think we may have made a bad decision. Okay. A witch. It's dead. Okay, that was unexpected. Well, nobody will mind if we have a look at his books while we're here. I think we've read it. I'm almost certain we've read it. Okay.
Hey.
Well, let's just maybe close that door behind us. Yeah.
Hey.
Belisage, hello. I'm looking for an expert in awakenings. Ah, that would be me. Though a lack of research subjects has made me more of an expert in counting floorboards. I would like to transfer Animancy's success in buttressing pre-awakened souls to soothing those whose souls have already been awakened. But I need subjects, and most of the patients here are too broken to produce reliable results. It is a tragedy to have some so far for nothing. You're in luck, I have a volunteer. Gellerad, who is it? I don't know about this. Don't be silly, the process is perfectly harmless. All you must do is stand in that cage. I beg your pardon? I jest, your Adirians are so uptight. I do not even know what this thing is used for. It belonged to the last occupant of this office, I think. And now they upgrade him to a cell. Again, I jest. So, you need to sit here. She takes Aloft by the shoulders and steers him towards the couch. And try to relax. But don't try too hard, then you will not be relaxing. Indeed. His eyes are humorless. And you must also wear these. A little cold, but the copper will help conduct your essence. Now, I'll examine your soul through my scope. She reaches into her desk and produces a long-chambered tube. Knobs, dials, and small tubed wheels run along the side of the device. It is fitted with adva lenses to cut different thicknesses and concavities. By manipulating them, I find angles and densities that will allow me to track the anomalies in your soul. Does this mean we'll get to talk to Isilmir more? I like that lady. But first, we must find this cunning interloper. You will answer some personal questions while I make adjustments. Don't worry, I'm sure we won't hear any of it. Very well. To begin, tell me something personal, something from before your awakening. There's nothing to tell. I was a normal child living in a Sithwood. He looks to you, his face is set in a frown, but the rigid edges of apprehension show through nonetheless. What do you remember about your home? As you speak to Aloth, you feel your voice like a bell in your chest. It tolls softly, luring him into the midst of his own memory. Belisage doesn't seem to notice anything, but you feel as if your words are soothing his essence, untangling its many threads. Comfortable, modest, quiet when Mother is away, which is most of the time, quiet enough to hear the clink of glass and wood. This is when I know to be most careful. Father is good about hiding the bottles. Mother, when she is home, is good at pretending not to notice them. This is good. I'm starting to see something. Continue. Tell me about the time when you awakened. I'm in my 5th year of training. Mother is home. I can let my guard down a little because when she is around, he is usually only angry with her. But he has heard that I'm having trouble casting missiles. My flame shields are unstable. He is furious I have failed, and Mother's presence reminds him that he has failed too. The first blow takes me by surprise. One moment I'm sweeping the kitchen, the next I'm sprawled on the ground, stupidly looking at the flecks of blood in the tile. His boots, glistening with fresh polish, thud across the floor. He kicks me in the stomach, and I curl up to shield my vitals, but it's pointless. Protecting one thing only leaves something else exposed. Still, huddled on the ground, I retreat as fast as I can. I retreat until the vision of the kitchen, my own trembling knees, is nothing but a pinprick against a field of black. His jaw locks and his eyes twitch beneath the lids. Machitio! Machitio? Oh. He's hypnotized himself with his old memory. You ought to bring him out of it, quickly. I almost have it. Let's just squeeze his hand. You're safe. Everything's fine. Aloft's eyes snap open, but the expression you see in them isn't his. He's near safe when I hap upon him. That's it. I'm seeing a shift in his essence. Something spreading and congealing. Keep talking. He seems to respond to you. What brought you here? Cracking bones and voices high in ire. That warm molasses feeling when crips down your gut when crisis is nigh. That's different. Belfetto, we have flares of totally distinct essence. Now try to get the two of them talking. Izamir, tell Loth why you've awakened. Actually, I went for that last time, so just in a twist I'm going to go for the other one for myself. But it should be roughly the same, I think. Aloft, tell Izamir what she's doing. Stinking weed-worming parasite. You'd say the same if your own kindled twig when it betrays you. Must have been hard to avoid, knowing there's a lady in your body the whole time judging you. Good, yes, very good. I can see where the two separate patterns of essence, where he ebbs, the other flows. It's as if the awakened soul fills the space that he leaves empty. Go on. Izamir, what exactly are you taking from him? Nigh more than I'm given. You should ask what I did to his old man of his. How the last time he laid a hand on us, I break him into 3 pieces. That wasn't your decision. It's never been your decision. Nigh was awakening, but now I'm stuck with you, and I'm damned if I let you ninny and drag us both through the scupper. Heck, very good. I think I've finally got something we can work with. I tracked Izamir's essence through the exchange. She had a particularly high density index during the most heated portions of their argument. Her essence seems to localize most clearly in the lower portion of the subject's left ribcage. That's right around the spleen, which of course means she is triggered by black bile. No doubt the subject's characteristic melancholy is to blame. That's utter horseshit. How gracious. Yes, never mind my years of training. I suppose you have a better explanation. Izamir shows up when he's threatened. Possibly. So, his father was abusive, so perhaps that's what happened. So when he was, when he felt threatened, he drew upon some memory deeper inside of himself. Izamir's appearances are related to potential sources of trouble for Loth. Again, that could work. That could be a, So when has it popped up? It popped up with the Hooded Men, and it popped up and said, basically, hello, the Hooded Men are not good. It popped up with the people at the town who Loth maybe felt a little bit like he was threatened from them, but then again, it could have just been a troubled situation, or maybe it was pressure. Maybe it was danger. Like, danger or pressure seems to be maybe a good one as well. Where else did it show up? I can't remember where else it's showing up. I think those are the 2 main ones I actually remember. It showed up once when talking about souls, or like when we're walking into maybe Caed Nua, I think it maybe talked, but I don't remember entirely. Izamir manifests when Aloth is in danger or under pressure isn't the one I went with last time, but it's the one I'm going to go with now. Belisage carefully scratched her jaw, her gaze darting between you and Aloth. I suppose that could be true. I'll have to check this against other research. Well and good for you, but what does this mean for me? Belisage frowns at her notes, tapping her cheek with a quill, making a grand show of concentration. However, you catch her steely glance from you over the pages. Izamir tries to take control from you when she thinks you can't face a problem on your own. You can't let her make those decisions for you. Maybe. She did you a favour by dealing with your father, didn't she? I think she's trying to help you stand up for yourself. You may not like her methods, but you should try and hear her out. Or it seems Izomir steps in when she determines that you're in danger. It's not yet clear whether this is a help or a hindrance. Maybe we'll try and do number 2. Get a loft, maybe get on with Izomir a little bit more. We'll see. It isn't the one I went with last time either. She did you a favour by dealing with your father, didn't she? I think she's trying to help you stand up for yourself. You may not like her methods, but you should hear her out. If you had to listen to her half as much as I do, you wouldn't say that. He scowls, but you notice something thoughtful in his frown. I've got a lot to process. Regardless, thanks for your help. Thank you for your help, Alexa. He does not look at Belisage. Well, I hope this has been as useful to you as it has been to me. I finally have material worth publishing. You'll be the toast of reviewer. Ventria Loth. Aye, advancing the rightwise principles of animancy, just what you've always wanted. As you leave, you catch a darting movement out the corner of your eye. Belisage is humming to herself, still occupied with her scope, but Aloth is holding her notes. He's just about to tuck them into his cloak when he catches you watching. He holds a finger to his lips, his eyes wide and imploring. Please, I don't want my personal information published like this. Especially not after her nonsense. Well, I like Aloth more than I like her. I would say fair enough, but do it quietly. We could say that was the deal. You will follow it, which may sour our relationship with him slightly. Leave me out of this, or I can't let you do that, and after hearing how much this means to her. I don't know. I think we go... Again, not the choice I went with last time, but you get the explanation, she gets her research, that was the deal. I'm nae gonna help you explain this one, scholar boy. Okay. Interesting.
Hey.
It didn't seem to lead to anything else, but that's cool. Can we speak to Belisage again? Nope. Okay. Can we speak to Aloth again? So, about your parents. Yes? Why was your mother gone off so often? She was invited to join a Heimnag with a landed Thane when I was very young. His estate was a 5-day ride from our home in the Southwood, so that was part of it. The real issue, however, was my father. Despite his initial agreement with the arrangement, father was never happy with it. He would hound and harangue my mother when she was home. He wanted to know whether she was intimate with the Thane, and no matter how many times she swore she wasn't, it was never enough. As you can imagine, it led to her coming home much less often, even though she still supported us financially. What's a Heimnag? Heimnag. A ceremonial marriage between folk and elf. Because Adir mainland has been historically split between the two races, we have many institutions that are designed to normalize relations. Our monarchy is headed by folk, but elven consort rules alongside the reigning Fernacoin or Mequin. This is the most prominent example of a Heimnag. In many cases, a Heimnag allows two households to pool resources. Along the aristocracy, Heimnags consolidate power. Sometimes, as in my mother's case, a Heimnag is a means for a noble to add another administrator to his or her household. Consorts are received with almost the same level of respect as their noble counterparts, which can be extremely useful. Of course, Heimnags sometimes used to sanitize an extramarital affair. He shrugs. I don't know if it's really any better, but it seems to satisfy common notions of decency. And elfin folk unions are sterile, which no doubt eases some concerns. Sounds like your father had a problem with his temper. He had a problem with my mother's Heimnag, even though agreed upon it long ago that the financial benefits would be considerable, that it was little different from his role as the Earl's steward. It ate at him. So he drank and raged. When she was home, he raged at her. When she wasn't, he raged at me. More than anything, he wanted to become an arcane knight in the service of the Earl. I think he felt this would validate his chosen career and master. He was a firm man, as you saw, but in the end, I became a successful wizard, due in no small part to his strictness. Yeah, nonsense. You accomplished that on your own. You would have been fine without him pushing you. Are you certain? I didn't know what I wanted for my life then. I surely wouldn't have been so focused without a little direction. Okay. That's all I really wanted to know. which one are we going to? Why did you want to take Bellasage's notes? Like I said, I didn't appreciate her prying. So now you understand a little bit more about Isilmir. No thanks to that animancer, my spleen, black bow, come on. Her methods were flawed, but you learned something, didn't you? Only because you and I have a lick of good sense between us. But the average person, throw them a shiny gadget in the hands of an expert and they'll believe anything. Perhaps. Animancy has its uses, but it's hard to say whether those outweigh the dangers. It's too decentralized. There's no one to keep practice in check. No uniform principles or guidelines. Yeah, having someone in charge would help the process be a bit more regulated. Quite so. Practitioners won't do it on their own. I'd like to know more about Isilmir. Such as, when did she awaken? My father was a strict man. He expected the best from his only child, and he didn't tolerate failure. At times he could be rather adamant, particularly when he'd been drinking. Isilmir manifested on one such occasion. To be honest, I don't remember the specifics, only that he was more careful with me after that. You said you'd learned to hide her a long time ago? My mother instructed me to keep her a secret after she first emerged. She feared the knowledge of my awakening would render me an outcast. Even though Isilmir proved useful against my father, I trusted my mother's advice, and I've since come to see the wisdom behind it. Mirrorwald is an extreme example, but one that I can relate to more and more each year. Can I talk directly to her? Her usurpations are uncomfortable enough. I'm not eager to invite her into my conscience more than necessary. Okay, that's all. So
Hey.
cool, we learned a little bit more about Loth, and we got a little bit of conversation that I didn't see last time, which is really cool that there are, meaningful changes. So, thanks for watching. Next time, we'll go into a little bit of what I've done before and a little bit of something new. Kind of mix it up. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next.